Well, welcome back to Slowpoke Racing and the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Eldridge Air Conditioning. This is race 2 of round 1 of our new season on a Sunday. This is our Mustang Madness. We are with the League 1 guys. Obviously, we are all in the Mustangs. For those that didn't watch race 1, if you didn't, I suggest you do go and take a look at it, especially towards the end. It really got exciting then. So race 2 is a reverse grid of where you finished in race 1. So we're going to have a look down the grid and just get on with this race, shall we? So Rufus finds himself in pole position. Seamus Cash is just behind him in second. Hodgie is third. Fourth is Stealth. Grahamid is fifth. Sixth is Sideways George. Seventh is Brownie. Bloomfield is 8th on the grid. Hoggy is 9th. Grasshopper 10th. Slowpoke 11th. Wayne G 12th, and winner of race 1 Scott all the way down at the back in 13th. So let's get the new normal camera and get this race underway. So we asked Rufus to take us through the first couple of turns as the klaxon sounds and foot planted firmly on the noisy pedal as they head down the hill towards turn 1, and Rufus takes us all in there. Now then, a quick look behind to see if there's any jostling already. Grahamid trying to get up the inside of Stealth, but Stealth having none of that. Sideways George in 6th, Brownie in 7th. Then we've got Bloomfield. It looks like Hoggy and Grasshopper already going side by side. Grasshopper trying to get himself on the inside as we go through this tricky section through turns 2, 3 and 4 into the right hander of turn 5 under the bridge, and Hoggy just holding Grasshopper up. Slowpoke sitting there in 11th just behind them, with Wayne G and Scott just behind him. So if we just get a focus on that, Slowpoke went very wide there, which I'm sure has let Wayne G through. No, he hasn't. So Slowpoke still just ahead of Wayne G. Hoggy has now had to give in to Grasshopper. Grasshopper moves up into 9th. Bloomfield in 8th. He's going to be next on the list of Grasshopper's targets, which is his teammate actually. And you can see a lot of weaving about as everybody tries to get in position for turn 14. Now then, Bloomfield and Grasshopper do not want to be taking each other out. Oh, a bit of a roadblock there. Sideways George picking up half a second penalty as Brownie tries to find a way through. Bloomfield is in there. Grasshopper is in there. So two teammates now ganging up on everybody else. Let's have a look, see where we are. It's Grasshopper. Oh, it's Brownie. Brownie just pulls out, trying to make some room for himself as they come down towards turn 1. Sideways George going to go the long way round. Grasshopper in 9th. It looks like Bloomfield in 8th. Although Grasshopper gets up the inside of his teammate. Now then, is there any team orders? Is Bloomfield going to move over and let Grasshopper through? I very much doubt it. As who is it that's got that penalty? Sideways George has got that penalty. So when he serves that one, Grasshopper's going to take the place away from him. Now then, Sideways George gets in between the two teammates. Bloomfield up into 7th, Sideways George 8th, and Grasshopper in 9th. It is all very, very tight and complex. Oh, as Grasshopper, he is trying to find any way he can through, and he just cannot do it at the minute. He's gone across the grass, he's catching barriers, but you can see how desperate he is to get through. Now then, it is mediums and hard tyres in this race, and Grasshopper starting on the mediums, so he really does want to get himself up into the top split of this grid as early as he can to try and get away from the guys on the hard tyres, which we will have a look at in a second. In fact, we'll do it now, shall we? Seamus Cass has managed to get in front of Rufus, so Seamus Cass now takes up the lead. He's on the medium tyres. Rufus, though, fighting back, also on the medium tyres, and Rufus has got himself on the inside as they come across the start-finish line any second now, and it is Rufus just ahead of Seamus Cash. Seamus Cash, though, getting into the slipstream and trying to position his car on the inside, having a bit of a look, but Rufus going around the outside. He's taking the long way, but I've mentioned this in race 1, there is a lot of grip out there on the outside at turn 1, so you can get the move done as Rufus did. A fantastic job just there. So Rufus regains the lead of this race. Seamus Cash slotting in behind him in 2nd. Hodgie in 3rd, just waiting for either of those guys up front to make a mistake, and he's there ready to pounce on it. Stealth in 4th, with Brownie in 5th, excuse me. Then we've got Grahamid in 6th, Bloomfield in 7th, Grasshopper, Wayne G, Hoggy, Scott, Slowpoke has gone down to 12th with Sideways George's teammate just behind him in 13th. So 2 Team Haribo guys are bringing up the rear at the minute, which is not going to do their points any good. So they need to get a bit of a move on. Both on the hard tyres though. Scott also on the hard tyres. In fact, we'll do a go up through the reverse of the grid, checking the tyres. So Scott, race 1 winner on the hard tyres. He's chasing Hoggy down. Hoggy also on the hard tyres. Wayne G on the hard. Bloomfield on the hard. So as you would expect, most of the guys at the back are all on the hard tyres. Grasshopper on the mediums. He's in 7th at the minute. Then we've got Grahamid. He's doing a great job actually. He's on the hard tyres and he's at 6th at the minute. Brownie on the hard. Stealth on the hard. Hodgie on the hard. Rufus and Seamus on the mediums. So there is only what three or four guys out there on the medium tyres. So Seamus and Rufus really do need to try and open up a bit of a gap. There is a gap there, but it's not as big as these two would really like it, because when they do come in to change onto the hard tyres and the rest of the pack go onto the mediums, they're going to be sitting ducks really. So they really do need to open up a gap, and fighting amongst themselves is not going to help their cause, as Seamus Cash leads us through turns 8 and 9 and heading down towards turn 10. This sharp left-hander, don't push it too far, otherwise you are going to get a penalty. Rufus still in 2nd. Then we've got Hodgie in 3rd. Stealth chasing Hodgie down. So these guys on the hard tyres. So Hodgie having a fantastic opening few laps in race 2. Now remember, there is a pit stop because you do have to change tyres, and you will more than likely have to come in for a bit of fuel as well, as that has been ramped up. But Hodgie sitting there in 3rd, Stealth 4th. Then we've got Grahamid leading a little group of 3 chasing. We've got Brownie and Grasshopper going side by side as they come out of turn 14. Grasshopper, well, I think it's Brownie with just about a bumper in front, as they almost go 3 wide as Bloomfield tries to get involved in this little party as well, which is Grasshopper's teammate. And it is Grasshopper, Brownie and Bloomfield battling it out as they come down towards turn 1. It is Brownie on the inside of Grasshopper. Grasshopper going all the way around the outside, but finding that grip that I mentioned earlier, and Grasshopper moves up into 6th position then. So Grasshopper in 6th, Brownie in 7th, and Bloomfield in 8th. Bloomfield will want to try and get by Brownie and catch up to the back of his teammate again. Be good points for Team Rossi if they can stay together. So Bloomfield chasing Brownie down. Then we've got Wayne G. He's making his way through the pack very slowly up into 9th. Scott doing the same. He's started in 13th and now up to 10th. Then we've got Hoggy in 11th. He's got a half a second penalty. He's got Slowpoke and Sideways George chasing him down in 12th and 13th. So Hoggy, when he serves that penalty, Slowpoke should move up into P11, and Sideways George should get a lot closer to Hoggy. So we're just going to stick with, let's go with Slowpoke, shall we? On board with Slowpoke, because Hoggy serves his penalty, and a quick look in the mirror, and Hoggy stays in 12th with Sideways George in 13th. So into turn 14 we go. Try and get that Mustang slowed down. It is a very, very tight turn. Quick look behind, and Hoggy all over the back of Slowpoke as we go through the final couple of turns at 16, 17, through turn 18 then, over the brow of the hill, and then we start the descent down to turn 1 across the start finish line. You can see Slowpoke goes defensive, lets Hoggy know very early doors what his intentions are. Hoggy's going to have a look around the outside. Is he going to get that job done? I don't think he is. Slowpoke just managing to hold on to it. Hoggy having to slot in behind again into P12. So great racing between these guys. Sideways George just sitting there in 13th, waiting for a mistake from either of them, as Slowpoke leads us through into turn 5, into the short tunnel. He'll exit and turn right onto turn 6. Hoggy in P12. He's got Slowpoke's teammate Sideways George all over him, so it does look like they're ganging up on him now. So can Sideways George get by Hoggy and get onto the back of his teammate as they come out of turn 10? Fantastic battling at the back here. So it just shows you do not have to be right at the front to have a decent fight. Seamus Cash though isn't right at the front, and he's opened up a bit of a gap now back to Rufus. Rufus had a bit of a nightmare in race 1, despite all the penalties he picked up and then ran out of fuel on the last lap. He'll be looking to make amends in race 2 on the medium tyres, so be interesting to see when these guys come in, both on the mediums, and at the minute the gap is just not big enough back to the likes of Hodgie, Grasshopper and Stealth. They're all on the hard tyres. Sorry, Grasshopper's on the mediums, and it shows there better grip into turn 1, makes the job look very easy as he makes the move on Hodgie. But as I say, Grasshopper has got the better grip with the softer compound tyre. Hodgie quite happy, I think, to let Grasshopper go through. So Hodgie sitting in 4th then. He is the highest placed driver on the hard tyres at the minute. So when the 3 guys in front of him pit, if he decides to stay out, now then you're going to get about, I think 7, and what did I work out? I think it was about 7 or 8 laps or something like that. I can't remember. No, 11 laps on a full tank. So it'll be interesting to see when the guys come in for their fuel and tyres. We are on lap 7, and I'm just looking at the fuel in Rufus's car. Although he has got lead boots on, Rufus does tend to get through the fuel, so we'll probably look at Seamus Cash as an example. So just under half a tank of fuel on lap 7. Rufus getting through it a bit quicker than Seamus Cash is. Grasshopper in 3rd, he's got just under half a tank as well. And as I say, we are coming to the end of a lap 7, so we may see some people coming into the pits. Now then, what's happened? We've got somebody at the back here, and it's Scott. Well, what has happened to Scott? Because that is a big old gap. Let's just have a look and see what happened to Scott. Well, we've got to go back quite a long way, haven't we? Oh, it was a pit stop. It was a... wow. That was a very early pit stop for Scott, but he's out now on the medium tyres. So Scott came in at the end of lap 6. So that's why he's so far behind. I thought he'd had an off, so apologies to Scott. I should know better, shouldn't I? Scott doesn't have accidents, he doesn't crash. Stupid boy. He's Scott, one of the top drivers. It's me being all silly there. So Scott has made his pit stop and has got rid of the hard tyres. He's back out on the mediums, and now we can see everybody else starting to come into the pit. So Sideways is in, Slowpoke, Brownie, Wayne G all into the pits to get onto the medium tyres. Let's go back up to the top then, as Seamus Cash already on the medium tyres, started on them, out in front, and he's got about, I'm going to guess about a second gap between himself and Rufus. It'll be interesting to see when they come in. They'll probably want to take these medium tyres as far into the race as they possibly can. Grasshopper also on the mediums, sitting there in 3rd. He is gaining on the 2 guys in front of him. Hodgie in 4th, he's on the hard tyres as well, so we'll see when he wants to come in. Maybe the end of this lap, lap 8. The other guys have all been in. So Scott was the first to pull the trigger, wasn't he, at the end of, I think it was lap 6 that Scott came in. Wayne G has since been in. Slowpoke has been in as well. Brownie, Sideways George, all been in and now come back out on medium tyres. So they are going to try and make their way through the pack now. Seamus Cash stays out on the medium tyres, so does Rufus. So they're going for another lap. Grasshopper also staying out on the mediums. Hodgie, he's decided to stay out as well. He's going to take the hard tyres a little bit further into this race. Doesn't want to lose his track position, I think, as we see Bloomfield coming in. Stealth has he stayed out as well, sitting in 5th, and I think that's the case with these guys. They just do not want to lose that track position at the minute. Same with Grahamid in 6th. So Hodgie, Stealth and Grahamid on the hard tyres, staying out for another lap. Hoggy also staying out. He's on he's in P7 and still on the original hard tyres, so he's going to keep going until he needs fuel, and that's probably the case with the other guys as well. Scott in 8th, starting to catch up a little bit now, and don't forget the guys in front of him have all got to stop. It's just if he can get close enough to them to retake the lead of the race before they all come back out onto track. So it's going to be interesting when they start coming in. Wayne G in 9th, with Slowpoke in 10th at the minute, Bloomfield in 11th, then we've got Sideways in 12th with Brownie in 13th. So Seamus Cash has gone around turn 14 and he's starting down the hill through turn 16 and 17, then he goes up the hill. He's decided to stay, he's not coming in yet, he's not interested in a pit stop yet, same as Rufus staying out. Grasshopper also staying out. Now then, is Hodgie going to stay? Yes he is. Hodgie, Grahamid, Stealth all staying out on the hard tyres as they cross the line to start a lap 10 of 18. Hoggy has decided enough is enough of the hard tyres and he is coming in. So where is Scott? Scott is he's just coming around turn 18 now, so he should get the position from Hoggy. There we go. So Scott now moves up into P7, so excuse me, making his way through the grid quite nicely is Scott. It's all going according to his plan. So Scott now up into 7th, Wayne G in 8th, Slowpoke 9th, as comes, he's just got by Hoggy. Hoggy came out of the pits just behind Slowpoke and into P10. Well, that's not what Hoggy wanted. He's come out right into traffic just behind Slowpoke. He's got Bloomfield all over the back of him. Sideways George is there as well. So that is not what Hoggy wanted really. But he's right in the mix of it now. Hoggy out on a fresh set of medium tyres, but the guys around him are all on medium tyres that are up to temperature. As we see Bloomfield go through, so Hoggy down into 11th, Slowpoke up to 9th, Wayne G in 8th. So it is going to be a battle now between Slowpoke, Bloomfield and Hoggy. Sideways George is there as well in 12th with Brownie down in 13th and not putting those guys under any pressure at the minute. Seamus Cash is where is he? He stayed out on the mediums because we've got some people coming into the pit. So Hodgie has decided to come in, same with Grahamid and Stealth. So those three guys, I think they're the only ones on the left on the hard tyres, so they are all in and onto the mediums. Scott now moves up into P4 as he goes by the pit lane and overtakes them guys. So Scott into P4, Hodgie into P5, Wayne G, he goes up into P6, Grahamid has come out of the pits in P7, Stealth in 8, Slowpoke in 9th, not that far behind Stealth, so he'll be hoping to try and catch up to the back of the two guys in front of him. Bloomfield though in 10th with Hoggy in 11th and Sideways George practically pushing Hoggy along in 12th. So Hoggy really has got the pressure on him as Sideways George starts to turn the screws. Got a bit squirrely though on the exit of turn 6 it looked like. Turn 5, sorry, just before they went into the tunnel. And that may have just cost him just a little bit, as you can see a gap slightly opening up now between Bloomfield and Sideways. Now then, Rufus is in, so Rufus has come into the pits, which means Seamus and Grasshopper have both stayed out, so they are going to try and increase that gap. Rufus in the pits, he's got a penalty as well, quite well the story of his race so far, isn't it, with the penalties. So Rufus taking on some fuel. So Scott around turn 18, fuel still going into Rufus' car, so Scott now moves up into P3 and on to the podium. Hodgie into oh no, Rufus is out of the pits just ahead of Hodgie, so Hodgie stays in P5, Rufus into P4, but Rufus has got a penalty. And also he's on the hard tyres, cold hard tyres, so Hodgie is going to be pushing. He's got some warmed up mediums, so he's definitely going to catch up to the back of Rufus. He needs to put that pressure on him, because try and force a mistake out of Rufus. As I say, he's on the cold hard tyres and he's got a half-second penalty, so that is definitely going to cost him. Hodgie could move up into P4 now, well, definitely will move up into P4 when Rufus serves that penalty. Wayne G not that far behind, get my words out now. He's in P6 as our two leaders come into the pit. Seamus and Grasshopper both into the pit. Now then, where is Scott? Scott is just coming out of the tunnel and approaching turn 14. Grasshopper is in the pit. Seamus Cash just reaching the pit crew. Seamus, Grasshopper, this is going to be tight. Scott around turn 14. I'm just looking to the left to see if the fuel's going in. The fuel has just started to go into Seamus and Grasshopper's car. The Scott goes around turn 18, and as soon as he goes over the brow of the hill there and he starts going down, now then it's showing that Grasshopper and Seamus Cash are both out. They are. Seamus Cash gets back out again in P1. Grasshopper just behind him in P2, but Scott on the medium tyres in P3, so the chase is now on. The gap is not that big, and both Seamus and Grasshopper on fresh set of hard tyres. Scott, his tyres are fully warmed up. He's had them on since at the end of lap 6, I think it was, so still plenty of wear in there. And yes, he's certainly picking up the pace, isn't he? Grasshopper's got the fastest lap at the minute, a 1:28.2, which he got quite early on, and you can see that Scott is already got Grasshopper in his sights. Hodgie still sitting in 4th, having a fantastic race this time around is Hodgie. He's got Wayne G behind him as Hodgie on the mediums, Wayne G also on the mediums, but Wayne's are a lap or two older, so they will be fully up to temperature as they come towards turn 14. Is Wayne G going to have a look? Maybe not. He's just going to sit behind, I think, Hodgie. In fact, we'll jump on board with Wayne, shall we? He's probably going to sit behind Hodgie, pick up a bit of slipstreaming. He's going to have the better grip, at least for the next couple of turns anyway. Hodgie's tyres now 1 lap old. Wayne G has already done 2 or 3 laps on his tyres, and you can see the slipstream starting to pull him in now. Hodgie goes defensive into turn 1. Wayne G going to try and get the cutback done. He's having to take a little bit of grass as well. There wasn't a lot of room there, but Hodgie holds on to P4. Wayne G, he's just going to have to be patient as we enter the technical section of this track into turn 5 and under the short bridge. Again into the second of the short bridges, and it's Wayne G chasing Hodgie. Let's have a quick look behind us, and there is nobody there at all to harass Wayne G. Fantastic exit for Wayne G out of turn 10, and that really giving him the momentum to make the move on. Hodgie just gets his bumper in front now, then Wayne G has got the advantage. He's going into turn 14 on the inside. He's got Hodgie to the outside. Wayne G is going to get there first, and it's I think he's pretty much got this corner sewn up. Yeah, not much Hodgie could do about that. Good racing from Wayne G. It was the exit out of turn 10 that helped him there. Got a fantastic drive, as I say, out of turn 10, which enabled him to get himself alongside Hodgie very early on. Got himself on the inside into turn 14. Great racing from Wayne G. And just to add insult there, Hodgie has picked up half a second penalty as well. He just needs to stay about a second away from Grahamid. Grahamid coming in fast, but if Hodgie can maintain at least a second or more gap between himself and Grahamid, then he should be safe when he serves his penalty. Grahamid will see that Hodgie's got a penalty, and he'll be doing everything he can to try and catch up and close that gap. Slowpoke sitting in 7th. He's got Bloomfield all over the back of him. Hoggy just behind him in 9th. We are on lap 15 of 18. Stealth in 10th, with Sideways in 11th. Brownie in 12th. He's got a penalty as well, but is all on his own. And Rufus, Rufus is completely facing the wrong way. He's on those hard tyres, so let's just have a quick look and see what happened to Rufus. And I think he is struggling on these hard tyres. Yeah, the back end just came round on him as he enters the short bridge at turn 5. and it carried on a little bit further around the corner. Yeah, he just couldn't get going, could he? Damage at the front, so that's unlucky for Rufus. Back up at the top though, and Scott, well, we're definitely going to go back and have a look at this. So Scott managed to get by Seamus. Grasshopper's got the lead, and Scott is all over him now. Grasshopper on the hard tyres, Scott on the mediums. They are looking slightly worn now, but I think he's going to have the better grip. He pulls alongside Grasshopper then through the long tunnel down towards turn 14. Scott is on the inside. You cannot get anything between them, can you? Scott on the inside then into turn 14 he goes. Grasshopper trying to get the cutback and get the better exit. Bit of a touchy-feely session there as Grasshopper nudged the back end of Scott's car, but they are both still facing the right way, and Scott has managed to hold on to P1. Grasshopper is just going to have to chase him down. While they're on the straights, the tyres are not really going to come into it, but as soon as you hit them corners, then I think Scott is going to slightly have the better grip, although those tyres are starting to look a bit worn. We are on lap 16, so 3 laps to go including this one, so still a bit of time for Grasshopper. He is going to push hard though, and Scott will try if he can to open up a bit of a gap. Seamus in P3, we're not quite sure what happened. Maybe it's just the fact that he's got the hard tyres on that has allowed Scott and Grasshopper to catch up. But Seamus sitting in 3rd, looking comfortable at the minute. Wayne G in 4th, he's on the mediums, although they are there again, like Scott, they're starting to show a bit of wear now. Hodgie sitting in 5th. Then we've got Grahamid Ali in 6th, Slowpoke in 7th. He's still got Bloomfield and Hoggy putting him under all sorts of pressure as we come into turn 10. Slowpoke just about managing to hold on to P7, but Bloomfield definitely in the slipstream. We'll jump on board with Bloomfield. A quick look behind us, and that is what we see. We've got a rear end full of Hoggy's Mustang. Hoggy looks like he's going to go to the inside. Slowpoke was defending that corner and then just back onto the racing line to make the turn. Quick look in the mirrors then, and Hoggy still there in 9th position. It looks like Bloomfield gets the better exit out of turn 14, so they start on down the hill through turn 16, 17, through turn 18, over the brow of the hill, and then back down again across the start finish line towards turn 1. Bloomfield trying to get in the slipstream of Slowpoke. Slowpoke was defending that turn and takes a tighter line through turn 1, although Bloomfield, there was a bit of a gap there, but Bloomfield couldn't get on the power quick enough to take advantage of it, so Slowpoke manages to hold on to P7. Hoggy's still there, so great racing from these guys down in 7th, 8th and 9th. We are on lap 17, so only one more lap to go. I'm just going to stick with these guys just for the next couple of turns as Slowpoke tries to fend off the advances from Bloomfield and Hoggy around turn 9 into turn 10, and it is still Slowpoke holding on to P7. Sideways down in 10th with Stealth in 11th, then Brownie in 12th, and poor old Rufus in no man's land in 13th. Back up at the top, Scott has well, he's opened up a gap now back to Grasshopper. I think Grasshopper has conceded this one and given the race to Scott. Grasshopper on the hard tyres, he's not really going to compete with Scott's speed, especially on the softer compound tyres, so Grasshopper just going to settle, I think, for P2 as they cross the line to start the final lap. Seamus in 3rd, fantastic race from Seamus Cash to hold on to P3 at the minute, although he's still got some work to do because Wayne G is chasing him down. Seamus on the hard tyres, Wayne G on the mediums, although the fuel light is on for Wayne G. I would say he's got enough to get him to the end of the lap. Hodgie in 5th. Brilliant racing from Hodgie in race 2. He's got the fuel light flashing. I think most of the guys will have actually. Grahamid in 6th. Bloomfield. Now Bloomfield has managed to get in front of Slowpoke, so the move got done. Sorry we missed it, but Bloomfield has managed to get himself up to P7. Slowpoke down into P8 with Hoggy into P9 as they come up towards turn 9 on the final lap. Slowpoke pushing hard to try and get that P7 back. He's having a look up the inside. Slowpoke looks up the inside. Bloomfield seems to go very wide there, and Hoggy takes full advantage and goes in the gap in between the two of them. Now then, old Bloomfield's picked up a penalty, so we'll go back and have a look and see what happened there. In fact, we'll go on board with Bloomfield. So around turn 9 then, and this is where it all starts to get a bit hot, as Slowpoke has a look up the inside. Now then, well, there wasn't any contact. I thought there might have been a bit of contact there. Then the gap opens up between them. Bloomfield went wide and picked up a penalty. Hoggy goes through between the two of them and takes full advantage and moves up into 7th. Slowpoke slows down actually, because I think I thought I hit Bloomfield. So as Bloomfield serves his penalty, Slowpoke slows down to make sure that Bloomfield retained P8. I did think there was contact initially, because Bloomfield, we've missed Scott going across the line. Let's go back and just follow Scott across the line. We do like to see people crossing the line, especially the winners. So Scott then, well, convincing win in the end. Got the tactics absolutely spot on. So good, well-deserved victory for Scott. Grasshopper is going to bring it home in 2nd. Wayne G manages to get in front of Seamus and takes P3. Well done to him. Seamus across the line in 4th. Hodgie in 5th. Grahamid 6th. Hoggy will cross the line in 7th. Bloomfield in 8th. With Slowpoke in 9th. Sideways in 10th. Stealth across the line in 11th. Brownie 12th. With Rufus, he's going to come in eventually in P13. As I was saying about the incident with myself, Slowpoke and Bloomfield, my phone's now started doing all sorts of silly stuff. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, I thought there was contact between us, which is why I backed off. Bloomfield had a penalty. He had a half a second penalty when he crossed the line, which would equate to a 1 second penalty, which is why I backed right off to make sure there was at least a second between myself and Bloomfield. I definitely thought there was contact, but looking back at the replay, there wasn't. But there you go, that's racing. It was a fantastic race and it was hard fought. Poor old Rufus. This isn't his track, it wasn't his day. Like I say, trying to get used to a new wheel and a set of pedals, but he will be back. But congratulations to Scott, a double win for round 1. You can't ask any more than that, can you? Join me next week when we will be at Laguna Seca, and wow, what a race we are going to have there. That always throws up something there. One big sandpit, and with the corkscrew as well, so really looking forward to that one. Hopefully we'll have some more of the drivers back on grid and we will be up to full 16. But in the meantime, we have the Wednesday race coming up, the GT3 racing on Wednesday, so I will be bringing you that around about Thursday, Friday, something like that. And yeah, I shall catch you all soon.